Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Oh, yeah, motherfuckers. Oh, yeah, I'm back. This is your main man, Mr. Can You Dig It, Backwoods Mill. And I'm back with a couple hot ticks of these motherfucking politics. Hit that motherfucking subscribe button, nigga. Oh, look, America. Donald Trump need to be removed, impeached, and buried. That son of a bitch need to be kicked in his ass and locked up. On a Sunday motherfucking day on Easter, he threatened war crimes against Iran. Lock his motherfucking ass.
What we do know is that two MC-130J aircraft, according to the Trump regime, they intentionally destroyed it. According to the Iranians, these two MC-130J jets, these C-130s, those like big kind of transport jets that kind of go in there with the special forces and drop the special forces up. The Iranians said that they destroyed these two MC-130J aircrafts. Anyway, they have been destroyed. In addition, we know that an MH-6 Little Bird helicopter was destroyed as well. We know that two of the Reaper drones that were used in this rescue mission were destroyed. Then the F-15 and A-10, and then two other helicopters were destroyed a few days back. I mean, so you add it all up, anywhere on the low end between 6 to 7 major aircraft, maybe as high as 9 to 10 aircrafts for this mission have all been destroyed, rescuing this one individual. And there's also other just question marks that I have, and I think military analysts have. So you set up a forward base deep within Iran just for this mission with those types of massive airplanes. And then you're saying that you rescued a colonel who was on the rank was a colonel who was on the F-15E, and you set up a whole base in Iran, and it was close enough to Isfahan. Was this an operation involving the Isfahan nuclear facility? And are we just not getting the accurate information at all about what the heck is happening here? So there's just a lot of questions. Apparently there were hundreds of special forces that were used in this one operation with all of those military aircraft being destroyed. And this is at the same time that the Trump regime has ordered all of these commercial satellite firms like Planet Labs not to publish any of their kind of proprietary data that they would sell to media companies in the Middle East and in Iran. So I just raised those questions here. And we'll continue to dig on the Midas Touch Network. But Iran's parliament leader, MB Ghalibaf, posts a photo of some of those MC-130J aircrafts. These are $100 million aircrafts that were destroyed. And he writes, if the United States gets 3 more victories like this, it will be utterly ruined, with a hand clap emoji. And it's saying this is what the U.S. is viewing a victory, having like 8 more planes and aircraft destroyed. And that's what it was all about. Regime change. We're taking you down. Now it's like, can you open the Strait of Hormuz, you effing bastards? Or now it's about, we rescued someone who was shot down when the United States claimed it had, air superiority, and that there was all Iran has is BB guns and they're not able to get us. So then Donald Trump calls up Rachel Scott, reporter Rachel Scott. Here's what he says to her. She goes, spoke with President Trump. He told me the conflict should be over in days, not weeks. But if no deal is made, he's blowing up the whole country with very little off the table. If happens, it happens, he says. And if it doesn't, we're blowing up the whole country, he said. I asked if there's anything off limits. Donald Trump goes, very little is off limits. In other words, Donald Trump just bragging about war crimes to reporters. Rachel Scott goes, I asked the president if his 2 to 3 weeks timeline still holds. And then he goes, it should be days, not weeks. It should be wrapped up in days because no sane group of people could stand the punishment that's going to rain down on them if it's not, he said. Trump also told her that he doesn't think American troops on the ground will be necessary. I don't think it's necessary, but I don't rule anything out. When I asked the president about his comments to Fox that there could be a deal tomorrow, he said he didn't know if there would be, saying, I have no idea with these people. There could be a deal and there could also not be a deal. I don't know. I have no idea with these people. They're getting the shit beat out of them, and that's That's all I can tell you. There's been no country that's ever taken a pounding like that. Then regarding NATO, Donald Trump said, this was a test for NATO. I didn't need them, but I wanted to test them. I said, I'd love to have you guys get involved. And they said, well, we can't do it. I said, oh, that's okay. I didn't even give him a hard sell. They probably said, oh, he's a terrible salesman, because all I did say, love to have you be involved. I was doing that as a test. I didn't need that, right? They're paper tiger. They have no ships. They have no nothing. And Putin has zero fear of them, he said. But I did it as a test. It was my test. A test, I say. I asked, then Rachel Scott goes, I asked Donald Trump if he would move back his deadline for Iran. By the way, the deadline, his latest fake deadline is Monday at 10:15 a.m. So let's just be clear. Now he's saying Tuesday. So there was already, he's already doing that. And then he goes, I don't want to talk about it. They have plenty of time to make a deal. If they don't want to make a deal, their whole country is gone, he said. And again, Donald Trump not saying Islamic Republic. He's talking about war crimes on the entire country of Iran, and that's how it's being perceived there as well. Moreover, in other news in the war, reports of major damage of at least one residential building in northern Israeli city of Haifa. You can see it right here, following an apparent direct impact of a medium-range ballistic missile launched by Iran. In addition, you had Iran hit the Babco, the Bahrain facility right there, the Babco oil storage facility in Bahrain. And then you'll see one of the Patriot missiles provided to Bahrain of the United States, missing the target that was hitting the Babco oil storage, and then the U.S. Patriot missile itself hits the storage facility. This has been confirmed by numerous outlets. And then you can see it right here on the video. And then the Iranian media is bragging about it, how must have gotten some bad American equipment hitting your own facilities right here. Show you this as well. Clear footage showing the moment a recent Iranian strike hit the Neot Hovav industrial zone in southern Israel. The site near the Beersheba in the Negev desert is one of Israel's main chemical and hazardous material hubs. And remember, Israel hit the petrochemical facilities in Iran. Iran then hits the petrochemical facilities in Israel as well as in Kuwait. And remember, yesterday I was showing you some of the Kuwait oil building on fire. We showed you as well the Kuwaiti petrochemical facilities on fire as well. Israel hitting the area in the southern suburbs of Beirut. The fifth Israeli strike in recent time over there, and it's right by the Rafik al-Hariri hospital. Lots of civilians injured over there. You could see what's going on there. It's just been interesting for me also to watch how corporate news has tried to sane wash this all. You have, Sung Min Kim for the Associated Press, also on CNN. Here's how she described Donald Trump's psychotic Easter Sunday post. Trump promises strikes on Iran's power plants and bridges on Tuesday if the Strait of Hormuz isn't reopened. As Ron Filipkowski goes, our editor-in-chief, you left out a few things in that post, don't you think? So that's kind of the sane washing we see. I mean, you have New York Times, David Sanger, sane washing Donald Trump's impeachable, insane Easter threat, as Aaron Rupert puts it, and saying, yeah, it was unusually vivid. No, it was psychotic. He's a lunatic. He's a madman. He's a war criminal. He's a predator. He's a sicko. He's a vile piece of trash. Just go and say the person in the Oval Office is a piece of trash. That's who he is. He's a criminal. He's a felon. Stop sane washing this.
Oh, look, America. The 25th Amendment need to be invoked to lock this son of a bitch Donald Trump. Lock his motherfucking ass up. He's a war criminal. He's a financial criminal. He's a sex criminal. Put the handcuffs on him. Kick him in his ass. Lock his...
Donald Trump is losing it as Americans are demanding that the 25th Amendment be invoked to remove him from office. He clearly is physically and mentally rotting, and he is unable to serve in the position of the presidency. That is an understatement. And it's not just any American who's out there saying invoke the 25th Amendment. It's Donald Trump's own former lawyer, Ty Cobb. It's also the co-founder of the American Conservative Conservative magazine. Scott McConnell, they're saying invoke the 25th Amendment now. Here's Ty Cobb, the former White House special counsel, the former White House lawyer during the first Trump administration. He says Donald Trump is gone. He said this to my friend Jim Acosta during an interview that they just did. Here, play this clip.
You think he's just gone?
I think he's gone.
Yeah.
And he's right. I mean, just look at the speech that Donald Trump was just giving, where Donald Trump is just out of control. I mean, watch this.
Boom. Then another one. Boom. And she was ready to go. She walked back to the corner. She said, I've never been hit like that.
Now back to Ty Cobb and Jim Acosta for a moment. Here, Ty Cobb says the 25th Amendment needs to be invoked, but Donald Trump's cabinet is just too cowardly. But it needs to be invoked. Here, play this clip.
It's not a surprise that we're in this much trouble. It's not a surprise that given the fact that the cabinet will not invoke the 25th Amendment for a man who is clearly insane. And this war highlights that. And these screeds that come out nightly, at 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. or, whatever time Trump decides to vent, without oversight, it highlights the level of his insanity and depravity.
Now, throughout the day, Donald Trump's been posting things like this, proving why the 25th Amendment needs to be invoked. Photos of Davy Crockett and saying Davy Crockett, obviously a distant relative of Jasmine Crockett and a very high IQ frontiersman, would be proud of the legacy that he began long ago, especially Jasmine's great success as a politician from the great state of Texas. Like, what the hell is he talking about? He then posts, is Bruce Springsteen going to sue his plastic surgeon? Then earlier he said, bad and very boring singer Bruce Springsteen looks like a dried up prune. MAGA should boycott his overpriced concerts, which suck. Bruce Springsteen, you suck, he says. Save your hard-earned money, America. Bruce Springsteen sucks. Don't see his concerts. As America is in Donald Trump's catastrophic war in Iran, as people are suffering here, that's what he's posting right now. I mean, Donald Trump's out there posting our military, the greatest and most powerful by far anywhere in the world, hasn't even started destroying what's left in Iran. Bridges next, then electric power plants. New regime leadership knows what has to be done and has to be done fast. Exclamation point. Donald J. Trump, he's out there just posting war crimes and crimes against humanity over and over again next to Davy Crockett and saying Bruce Springsteen sucks.
Oh, look, America. Donald Trump, the stupid son of a bitch, is losing it. This motherfucker made a statement. These was the words. Open the fucking restraint or amuse, or he gonna kill them or commit war crimes. Put the handcuffs on him. Lock his mouth.
All eyes on the White House today after a sharp escalation from President Donald Trump. He is set to speak later today, less than 24 hours after threatening massive strikes on Iran.
The tension centered around the Strait of Hormuz, a critical global shipping route, and our Lionel Donovan joins us now to break down this expletive-filled post and what comes next. Lionel?
Good morning, Wisdom and Samoa. Well, we expect to hear from the president this afternoon, and here is the message that Trump posted on social media earlier today. You can see right there that he's demanding that the strait is reopened by tomorrow and promising that Iranians would be, quote, living in hell if that doesn't happen. Analysts and experts have warned that oil prices will only rise the longer the strait stays closed. And if something doesn't change fast, they may become too high to manage. Trump's new threat comes after U.S. forces rescued 2 crew members from a U.S. fighter jet that was shot down last Friday. The pilot was rescued that same day, and the second crew member was rescued early Sunday morning. The rescues, however, mark 6 weeks of fighting between Iran and the U.S. and Israel, which has been felt not just among U.S. allies in the Gulf, but across the world as oil prices continue to climb. And now Washington ponders the possibility of a ground war.
Oh, look, America. You tell me this son of a bitch Donald Trump don't need to be removed. These are his words. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastard, or you will be living in hell. Put the handcuffs on him. Lock his motherfucking ass up.
Donald Trump posted a profanity-laced post on his social media platform today, threatening to blow up bridges and power plants in Iran if the Strait of Hormuz does not open by Tuesday. Roughly 20% of the world's oil travels through that strait. And since the war began February 28th, traffic through there has effectively stopped. That has pushed gas prices up to an average of $4.10 a gallon across the country. According to the president's post on Truth Social, if Iran does not agree to a deal by Tuesday night, the U.S. will strike power infrastructure in Iran. The president did tell ABC News today he did not see American troops on the ground in Iran as, quote, necessary.
Oh, look, America, for all these fake-ass Christians and Christian nationalists who told Donald Trump he's just like Jesus on Easter, know what you need to do? Turn around. Let a motherfucker kick in your motherfucking ass. Put the handcuffs on him. Lock his motherfucking ass.